Cool. Good morning. So I am down at Edgewater Park near the edge of the bottom where the weeping willows are. Down by the weeping willows is where Bottoms Up Yoga or Bottoms Up Yoga and Brew guides yoga classes for all levels. It's a good vibes yoga, donation based yoga for everybody. So I will have them tagged. So if you're interested in joining one of their classes by the Willow Trees at Edgewater or one of their other amazing classes at breweries, coffee shops, or another beautiful park, you can do so. You'll be able to have access to that information. And so, with keeping with Bottoms Up Yoga in mind and sharing a little bit of my experience with you, as I am a Bottoms Up yoga teacher, we're going to actually continue on from the last class. So, last class we focused on the upper body, opening up the heart, getting a little grounding and getting some stretches through the arms for Gomukhasana. So Gomukhasana or cow pose is a pose that really it can be a full body opener, which just means it can be like a full body stretch. So you're going to think about lengthening through the body. It does allow the arms and the lower body to open. So this morning we're going to focus on the lower body. This is a chair friendly class. So you can do this seated or adapt as you choose. And we're going to get started with the Gomukhasana. Basically, you can go into something as you can have what I have heard and like to call log pose, where you can have the legs layered. And then, of course, if you open up on one side with one leg on top, then you're going to want to do the opposite leg. Or you can go into a bit of a fish variation in pose in the lower body or just crossed legs. So working with your body, depending on how tight or open it is. I mentioned my last class, I've been doing quite a bit of running. So my legs prefer to stretch because they get a little more tight. So this is a nice pose, basically anybody, whether you're sitting a lot, if you're walking, running, whatnot. There is some yoga for runners. So if you're interested in learning more about that, stay tuned. We'll focus on that on the next coming class, which takes place on Sunday. So we're going to start with just a seated tree pose. And then we're going to take that seated tree pose as we're breathing, as we're opening, and we're going to position it into a figure four. So figure four or seated pigeon pose. So just have one leg extended nice and long, and you'll have the other leg, either if you're in a chair, you can do dual yoga, dual chairs, and have another chair in front of you. So you could have that leg up on the chair in front of you and then bring it back. Or if the chair or seat is large enough, you can always bring that leg up on the first chair. Otherwise, just be on your mat. Starting in that tree pose, focus on the front of the body, the chest and torso straightening, lengthening, facing forward. And then you're going to take that leg with the bent knee from tree and you're just going to take it over for the figure four. So have that ankle past thigh so that you're not pressing in the bone into any sensitive areas. And then just use the hands wherever for placement so that it feels nice and opened here. And you can use the hand on the thigh just above the knee to add a little additional opener. I like to also take my other hand and kind of lift the leg, just from under the foot. So it kind of starts to open and align. So do what works for you. Sit here and breathe. If you're still in chair, then you're going to want to maybe focus on this opener here. If you're on mat, You're going to want to open up that leg, flip it back, and then just have the extended leg out in front of you and feel a nice opener through that extended leg. You can keep your upper body up, or if you're feeling good, you could always forward fold to get a deeper stretch in the back of the leg. That's up to you also. You'll slowly fold up. We'll take that to the opposite side. So bring the leg that was in the back around to the front. You're going to start with your seated tree pose. Take a moment to get acquainted with the body here. And then when you're ready, you'll go ahead and cross it over into your figure four or seated pigeon. Mm-hmm. Take another breath here. And then when you're ready, you're going to release. That leg's going to go back, and then you'll just have your extended leg in the front. So option to have a little bend in that knee, or just focus on lengthening through that leg, or you can forward fold. It's completely up to you. If this is your first stretch of the day, you might want to be mindful on how the back is feeling before you dive into a full forward fold. So just take your time, breathe into it. I have that song. I think it's by Prince, and all I hear is "Oh Sheila." I think "Oh Sheila" is the name. I don't even know, but it's like stuck in my head. So I find myself like humming it. Not sure if you can pick that up or not. Take another breath with your extended leg opener. And you're going to roll up. We're going to bring that back leg front once again. So these little Instagram lives and classes are a way to get a nice stretch at any time of the day that works for you. They don't have to be long to be beneficial. So we're going to go into that prep for a variation of a fish pose. We're going to add on a nice spinal twist to that. So you're going to go ahead back to that first leg that was extended, cross it over, and then spinal twist in that same direction. I love a good spinal twist in the morning or any time of day. Because after work, it can feel really nice too. Go ahead and come out of that. Take it to the opposite side. Now, if you're in chair, you're probably have your legs connected to floor possibly, and you're doing a seated spinal twist in your chair. Just getting in that lower back, a little stretch, a little length. Oh my. Just noticing my little critter friends that are next to me. They look like they're still asleep. All right, and come out of that. So we're going to focus on, there's two different things we could do here. And I think this next one, I'm just going to show it. And then if you feel like your body wants a little more of that, go ahead and do it. But just taking the legs both behind you. You could even add in like a cat-cow or something here if you choose. And just like we did with the figure four, we can come into bringing that leg forward and find another variation of pigeon here. Or you could focus on taking that foot forward and then rising up to stretch and feel that stretch on pretty much like down from the glute to the outside of the thigh there. So you could stay within this one for a bit, or if that's too much, you don't have to do it at all. We won't be here long. Just wanted to give that option in case you're looking for more things to do on your own. And then, of course, you would want to come out of that side, and then we'll just flip sides. So take it around. We're still going with the area of not adding any inversions yet. We'll get there into adding those into this class. Little critter friend made its way into me. So you have that option. You could keep this leg behind, or you could always focus on bringing it forward and then landing down. So little critter friends are awake. I was wondering if they were awake. Flying around, buzzing around. You never know what you'll get in nature. I've been running and I've gotten this giant snake that passed me the other day. Huge, gorgeous snake going across the field. Then what else I had? I had a bat. So a bat flew into my arm and kind of like flew into my arm, and then like I heard like this whoosh as it like collects itself and continues then to fly around me. I had some other interesting animals that I've been crossing my path because I run a little bit later into the evening when I get off of the work. So it's like, oh, all these things come back to life because it gets darker in the metro parks, and so a lot of people aren't there. So the animals come out. All right, we'll go ahead. We'll take that leg back. We're going to come back to a seated position if you chose to add those in. And let's talk about log pose and move that into Mukasana pose. Go Mukasana pose. So with the log pose, basically it's literally like two logs. So I have my left leg underneath and then my right leg above. And you want to do your best to align them. If you're still feeling a little tight, that's okay. Just work with what you got. But basically, this would be your log pose. So you have your one leg underneath and then your other leg over. Now, if you're feeling very tight, you could always use your hands once again to add a little pressure in, just so that you feel a nice little stretch there. And some people stay here, or maybe they just stay in easy seated pose, Sukhasana pose, which is legs crossed. Or you can transition into this. If you're feeling a little more open, you could transition into a half locust pose and or a full locust pose. That's fine too. Otherwise, just feel, kind of work with the body, go through the movements, see how it feels. You're not stuck in like one position of stillness when you do this. It's really on, coming into awareness of your body and how it feels within that pose or asana, and then transitioning from there. Because usually you want to work your way up. If you're doing like something like an Ashtanga class, there's these levels. So you have like your level 1, your 2, your A, B, C, whatnot. So it's not like you're just diving into something that your body's not prepared for. You take the time to go through that flow and then level up and then level up and level up, or transition as time goes. So same with these poses when you're doing them in kind of this more freestyle hatha is what we call it. Okay, so if you do the one side, you're going to want to go ahead and switch over to the other side for your log pose on the opposite side. We really are just looking to open up through our glutes, our thighs, our hips, all that beautiful region for the Gomukhasana. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stay with this leg that's currently on top. So this should be our second leg on top. You did the first. You haven't transitioned. Go ahead and transition onto that second leg. And so when going into Gomukhasana, you're going to go ahead and align the knees in the front, that chest, that torso want to face forward, and best you can align with your body, and then your feet start to make their way towards your tail, and then you have your legs for your Gomukhasana. So if you're adding in the arms, then if they're feeling open, you could add your arms in too. So you would just take one arm to the top, one arm to the bottom, and then you have your Gomukhasana. So basically on the back, behind the back, the hands are clasping together. So for me, since I have left leg on top, left arm, right hand below, and then they clasp. And that's how you make it a full body opener. And of course, then you could always release the arms and just focus on the lower body. And you would keep working to opening up that lower body. The feet find more length. Some people just like to hold their hands there to help lengthen through the leg also. And then you would switch back to that first side if you're not already on that first side and take it over there. So if left leg was on top before, then you're going to want to have left leg on the bottom. And you can just play with that lower body. You could go back into log pose first or Sukhasana and then make your way into here. Another option is to keep that knee higher up and just cross that foot over if you're still working on opening too. I've seen that version also, just depending on your body. So you'll go ahead and get that adjusted, and then you could focus there. Or you can add in the arms once again, so it's completely up to you how you choose to do that. You could take your right arm then to match the right leg, and your left hand would clasp through the bottom. You don't have to, but it's an option. In some classes, we would call this our peak pose if we did like a full warm up and then really prepared the body for the full pose. And you could focus on keeping the arms, or you could just focus on the legs. And once again, like I said, you could always just also keep that knee up if you prefer to do that. Otherwise, you would just slowly come out, shake out the legs. Wiggle the toes, bend and unbend the knees. And then we're just going to come back to Sukhasana, easy seated pose. If you add in the upper body opener, you might want to just stretch out the arms after. It's definitely quite the way to break into the lengthening and stretch through the back, especially the mid to upper back. Some like to say, I can feel it in the bones. All right, so that's all we're going to focus on this morning. Let me know if you have any questions on the Gomukhasana. So asana right there at the end, asana. Asana is what you will see in the Sanskrit terms of the words. And then we still keep that asana in English and in some other languages, and just kind of start to define the front, the piece. So the front and the piece of these words in Sanskrit does describe what we're getting into, what we're doing. There's also different flashcards and meanings you can find online that can help you to just kind of dive in and gain a deeper sense of the names of these particular poses, what they do to the body, how they help and support you and your wellness. So reach out, leave a comment if you have questions, and then I will see you next time. And if you're in the Cleveland, Northeast Ohio area, definitely, or actually even Toledo or Columbus in Central Ohio, check out Bottoms Up Yoga. Like I said, Wednesdays, we are here. I'm not always teaching. There's a whole bunch of beautiful teachers who guide flow, but we're down here. We're teaching classes by the Willow Tree. It's the lower level at Edgewater Park. It would be wonderful to see you in a class here with all the critter friends, and I'll show. So this is one side, but usually class meets a little bit further back. So kind of in that zone there, closer to the water and where that sign is, right here. So that's where class meets. I'll see you there.